Maybe you have tried everything. The affirmations, the vision boards, the positive thinking. You read the books, you watch the videos, you whisper to the universe what you want until your voice went silent. And yet, life still feels the same, doesn't it? You wake up, you hope for a shift, but somehow the same emotions, the same situations, the same faces keep showing up in different clothes. It is not that you are doing anything wrong, it is that you have been living inside a loop, a timeline echoing itself again and again until you remember that you can change the frequency that holds it together. Deep down, you already know this. Somewhere inside you, there is a quiet knowing that life is not meant to feel this heavy, this repetitive, this scripted. You sense that there is another version of reality vibrating just beyond what your eyes can see, and that version is waiting for you every day. Infinite versions of your life exist right now, side by side, separated only by vibration. You are not stuck because of destiny or bad luck. You are simply tuned to an old signal. And that signal, like an old song, keeps replaying because it is familiar. You see, the quantum field does not punish you for your past. It mirrors your frequency. Every emotion, every thought, every breath sends a signal to that field, and the field reflects it back as your physical experience. That is why so many people spend years trying to force change with their minds but feel no real movement in their lives. They are shouting new affirmations from a body still wired for the old frequency. You cannot fool the field with words. It listens to vibration, to coherence, to what you are. The truth is, reality is not something that happens to you. It is something that responds to you. And if you want to change the reflection, you must become the new signal. Take a moment right now and feel your own energy. Is it restless, heavy, hopeful, calm? Every time you feel, the universe is listening, not in a poetic sense, but in a literal, energetic way. Your nervous system, your emotions, your expectations, they all emit information into the quantum field. That information organizes itself into what we call reality. The universe is not responding to your wishes. It is responding to your vibration. So when you say you want peace, but live in anxiety, the field registers anxiety. When you say you want love, but close your heart, the field registers protection. When you say you want abundance, but tighten your breath every time money comes up, the field registers contraction. The quantum responds to what dominates your energy, not what decorates your thoughts. Every human being carries an emotional signature shaped by early experiences, memories, and beliefs. Over time, that signature becomes a baseline vibration, the frequency the universe associates with your name. If you never become aware of it, you end up replaying the same emotional soundtrack for a lifetime. That is why so many people keep attracting the same kind of partners, the same conflicts, the same disappointments. They are not cursed. They are coherent. Coherent with the old signal. But coherence can be rewritten. The moment you become aware that you are inside a loop, the moment you stop identifying with it, the pattern begins to lose its power. Most people think their story is written in stone. But in quantum reality, it is more like waves waiting to collapse. The version of you who is confident, peaceful, and abundant already exists, just vibrating at a different frequency. You do not create that version by fighting the old one. You shift into it by tuning differently. Imagine your life as a radio, and right now you are stuck on one channel playing the same old song. You do not have to destroy the radio to change the song. You just need to adjust the dial. Every new thought, every conscious breath, every act of courage moves that dial. The challenge is that most people do not realize the dial exists. They live and react automatically, driven by patterns that began long ago. The mind and body learned what felt safe, even if that safety was pain or scarcity, and kept repeating it. Your system loves the familiar more than it loves progress. That is why, Even when opportunity knocks, fear answers the door. But what if safety is not meant to be a cage? What if you could teach your nervous system that joy is safe, that expansion is safe, that love is safe? That is where the quantum shift truly begins. Not by escaping the old reality, but by remembering how to align with the one already waiting for you. Now take a deep breath and close your eyes for a moment. Feel the subtle vibration beneath your skin. That pulse is not just blood, it is information. You are a frequency generator in a responsive universe, and when your signal changes, the universe recalibrates. This is why it is not about trying harder or wanting more. It is about shifting your state of being so completely that the field has no choice but to mirror back something new. This is not philosophy, it is physics. Every possibility already exists, but the one you experience depends on what you tune to. As you listen to these words, begin to notice the patterns that repeat in your daily life. The emotional habits that shape your mornings, the thoughts that return at night, the stories you tell yourself about who you are. Are they aligned with the life you say you want? Or are they echoes of a version of you that no longer exists? The key to the quantum shift is awareness, not judgment. To see yourself clearly, without shame, is the first act of freedom, because when you observe differently, you collapse a different wave. Picture this. You wake up tomorrow and choose not to react from memory but from presence. You catch yourself before the complaint, before the fear, before the self-doubt. In that pause, you create space for a new reality to appear. The universe fills that space instantly with something coherent to your new signal. This is not magic, it is mechanics. Every time you respond differently, you send a new instruction to the field. Every time you breathe through an old trigger, you change your vibration. And every time you choose alignment over reaction, you shift timelines. The first quantum shift always begins inside. It is subtle at first. You may not see fireworks or instant miracles, but you will feel something begin to change within you. A quiet certainty that you are no longer pushing against life, but moving with it. That feeling is your evidence, because energy does not lie. Once your inner frequency changes, the outer world has no choice but to follow. And as you move forward in this journey, remember this truth. You are not broken, you are not late, and you are not behind. You are simply learning how to tune yourself back into coherence. The new timeline is not waiting somewhere in the future. It is waiting in the vibration you choose now. When you shift from force to flow, from fear to trust, from waiting to being, reality will respond instantly. That is the beginning of the quantum shift. Most people believe that manifestation begins with wanting something deeply enough. They think desire is the fuel that moves reality. But in the quantum world, wanting is not power. Vibration is. You can want peace and still vibrate chaos. You can want love and still vibrate fear. You can want abundance and still vibrate lack. The quantum field does not respond to how much you want. It responds to how much you match. The field is a mirror that reflects coherence, not craving. When you say, "I want to change my life," the field does not hear the words. It reads the frequency behind them. It reads whether your body, your emotions, and your expectations are already tuned to that reality or still anchored to the old one. Desire is often just the first spark, but frequency is the fire that sustains it. That is why so many people try to manifest harder, push more, visualize stronger, and still feel stuck. They are trying to outthink the vibration. But you cannot rise above energy with effort alone. You must become the vibration itself. That is the paradox of the quantum shift. You are not rewarded for struggle. You are reflected for alignment. Think about it like this. You can repeat affirmations all day long. You can write on your vision board, I am wealthy, I am loved, I am healed. But if your nervous system still contracts with fear every time you look at your bank account, or your heart closes when someone tries to love you, the signal you send to the field is contraction, not abundance, protection, not intimacy. The universe does not judge you for this. It simply mirrors what is dominant. The dominant signal always wins. It is not the loudest one. It is the most coherent one. This is why change feels so hard. Because the conscious mind speaks in thoughts, but the quantum listens to vibration. And your vibration is not just in your words. It lives in your breath, your posture, your chemistry, your expectations, your habits. Every cell in your body is broadcasting a frequency. So if your mind says, I am ready, but your body says, I am afraid, the field reads fear. If your voice says, I trust, but your gut feels tension, the field reads doubt. That is not punishment, it is precision. The field simply matches what you embody most consistently. The real secret to shifting reality is not forcing desire, but changing the frequency that defines you. You must become so coherent with the version of yourself who already lives in the desired timeline that the old one can no longer hold you. The key word is coherence. Coherence happens when the mind, the body, and the emotions all vibrate in harmony with the same signal. It is the state of being that every mystic, scientist, and teacher has tried to describe in different words. Some call it faith, some call it alignment, some call it resonance. But in truth, it is the same thing. It is the moment your inner world stops contradicting itself. To reach coherence, you must first see where your signals are out of sync. Maybe your thoughts are future-oriented, but your emotions are trapped in the past. Maybe your words sound strong, but your nervous system is still broadcasting fear. The field is listening to all of it. And when the signals cancel each other out, you experience static, confusion, stagnation. The mind says go, the body says stop, and the result is stuck. Now take a slow breath and feel your own energy. What is the signal you are sending right now? Is it peace or is it impatience? Is it gratitude or is it worry? Whatever you are feeling in this very moment is already a frequency being broadcast into the field. You cannot hide it. The quantum field is not far away. It is inside everything, including you. Every thought, every heartbeat, every emotion creates a ripple through it. When you understand that, you stop trying to manipulate the outer world and start mastering your inner one. This is where the first real practice begins. Before you take any new action, before you make any new plan, you must align your frequency, not with pressure, but with presence. When you align, action becomes effortless because it is supported by the field. When you are misaligned, every step feels uphill because you are swimming against your own vibration. You can feel the difference instantly. Alignment feels light, natural, quiet. Even when nothing external has changed, misalignment feels heavy, noisy, desperate, even when everything seems fine. When you start living as vibration first and form second, life begins to bend differently. People show up at the right time. Opportunities find you without force. Ideas flow like electricity. That is coherence turning into momentum. It is not magic. It is resonance. Energy attracts like energy. And if, as you listen now, something in you feels a quiet recognition, if there is a voice inside whispering that this is what you have been searching for, then stay close to this field. Subscribe, not to follow a channel, but to join a space where people like you are remembering how to live from frequency, not force. This is a community of resonance, a field that grows stronger every time someone chooses awareness over fear, coherence over chaos, being over wanting. Because this is the turning point. The moment you stop chasing outcomes and start tuning vibration. Once you understand that everything you want already exists in potential, you stop asking when will it happen and begin asking how can I align with it now. The moment that question becomes real in your body, the shift begins. Let me give you an example. Imagine two people, both wanting abundance. One wakes up in the morning thinking about bills, feeling tightness in the chest, worrying about not enough, but still saying out loud, I am abundant. The other wakes up and takes a deep breath, feels gratitude for the smallest things, a cup of water, a sunrise, a heartbeat, and lets the feeling of enoughness expand. The first person speaks abundance but broadcasts fear. The second speaks gratitude and broadcasts abundance. Which one do you think the field reflects faster? The field does not care about the words. It cares about the frequency of truth behind them. Your life right now is the perfect reflection of your dominant signal. That may sound harsh, but it is actually empowering. Because if your vibration created this, a new vibration can create something else. You are not stuck. You are simply tuned. The power to change your reality is not outside. It is in your ability to shift your coherence. And you do not have to do it all at once. You shift by degrees, by awareness, by returning. Every time you notice the old signal, you can pause, breathe, and choose again. Every time you choose gratitude instead of worry, calm instead of panic, openness instead of control, you are retuning your frequency. The more you do it, the stronger the new signal becomes. Eventually, it becomes dominant, and the field rearranges to match it. This is the heart of the quantum shift. It is not about asking the universe for more. It is about broadcasting a new signal so clearly that the universe cannot help but reflect it. When your inner signal changes, life cannot stay the same. Reality listens to coherence. So tonight, before you go to sleep, ask yourself one question: what frequency did I live in today? Was it fear or trust, scarcity or gratitude, force or flow? Whatever answer you find, do not judge it, just observe it. Awareness itself begins the retuning. Because the moment you become aware of the vibration you are sending, you already start to change it. Your desire is not the engine of creation, your vibration is. And when your vibration aligns with your desire, manifestation becomes effortless. That is how reality begins to shift, not when you want it badly enough, but when you embody it fully enough. In the world of quantum physics, there is a strange but powerful truth. The moment something is observed, it changes. The act of observation collapses a wave of potential into a particle, into reality. Nothing becomes real until it is witnessed. Scientists discovered this decades ago, but what most people do not realize is that the same principle applies to your life. You are not only observing the universe through your eyes, you are observing it through your beliefs, your emotions, and your expectations. And whatever state of consciousness you observe from becomes the reality that collapses around you. If you are observing life from fear, you keep collapsing timelines of survival. If you are observing life from love, you keep collapsing timelines of peace. The field is not biased. It simply mirrors the observer. This is why changing your thoughts without changing your inner observer rarely works. Because the power is not in the words. It is in the state that is observing them. You can say, I am safe, while your body is still holding the vibration of danger, and the field will mirror danger. You can say, I am free, while your emotions are still bound by guilt, and the field will mirror limitation. The quantum listens to the dominant vibration, not the surface statement. Now let's bring this into the human experience. Every one of us has two levels of awareness, the conscious and the subconscious. The conscious mind is the one that sets intentions, plans, and imagines new possibilities. It represents only about 5% of your total awareness. The subconscious mind is the 95% that runs everything else. It is the part that stores memories, trauma, beliefs, and emotional reactions. It is also the part that automatically recreates your familiar reality because it feels safer to repeat what it knows than to explore the unknown. That means most of the time it is not your conscious desire that collapses the wave. It is your subconscious programming. You may consciously want abundance, but if your subconscious still identifies with lack, the observer that is active within you will collapse lack. You may consciously want love, but if your subconscious still expects betrayal, the observer will collapse disappointment. You may consciously want success, but if your subconscious still equates visibility with danger, the observer will collapse sabotage. The universe is not denying you. Your old observer is. Think of your subconscious mind like the lens of a camera. If the lens is cracked, every picture will look distorted no matter how beautiful the subject is. The work is not to find a better view, but to clean the lens. That is what healing truly means. It is not fixing who you are. It is removing the distortions in how you observe. Because the clearer the lens, the clearer the reflection. For years, you may have been trying to manifest change from the 5% of your consciousness that is awake and aware, while the 95% beneath it keeps broadcasting the old frequency. That is why you feel like you take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. You are consciously affirming one reality, while subconsciously feeding another. The quantum field responds to the dominant observer, and the dominant observer lives in the body. This is where science and spirituality finally meet. Neuroscience tells us that the body is the subconscious mind. Every thought you repeat, every emotion you rehearse, becomes a chemical pattern in your system. Over time, those patterns form automatic responses that feel like personality, but they are actually memorized survival states. You may say, "I am confident," but if your body still tightens in fear every time you speak up, the field registers fear. You may say, "I am abundant," but if your breath shortens when you spend money, the field registers scarcity. The quantum responds to coherence, and coherence is created when the conscious and subconscious finally agree. To shift reality, you must shift the observer that is running your show. You cannot fake it. You must reprogram it. This begins by bringing light to the shadows. Notice your repeated emotional reactions, your daily triggers, the moments when you contract or defend. Those are the clues that reveal which observer is active. Once you see them, you have a choice. You can continue reacting from the old self, or you can pause, breathe, and let a new observer take the seat. The pause is where the power lives. In that pause between reaction and response, you are no longer the character. You are the consciousness behind it. That is where freedom begins. When you start observing from presence instead of programming, the old loops begin to dissolve. The neural pathways in the brain start to weaken, and new ones begin to form. This is neuroplasticity working hand in hand with the observer effect. Every time you choose awareness over reaction, you are literally rewiring your brain and collapsing a new timeline. This process requires patience and compassion. The subconscious is not your enemy. It is your protector. It repeats what feels safe, even if that safety is pain. Thank it for keeping you alive, and then show it that a new reality can be safe too. The body learns through experience, not logic. That means you must show it what peace feels like, not just talk about peace. You must show it what trust feels like, not just imagine trust. Through repetition of calm, breath, and presence, the nervous system begins to understand that the new timeline is not dangerous. It is home. At this point, something subtle but powerful begins to happen. Your reactions start to slow down. Your emotions feel less controlling. Your thoughts feel quieter. You begin to sense a gap between stimulus and response. And inside that gap is the birth of a new observer. It is the part of you that watches without judgment, the part that sees without fear. And every time you return to that place, your frequency rises. That is the foundation of the quantum shift. The universe does not care how perfect you are. It cares how coherent you are. When you align your conscious intention with your subconscious vibration, the signal becomes pure, the observer becomes steady, and reality has no choice but to reflect it. So the next time you catch yourself reacting automatically, take a breath. Ask yourself, who is observing right now? The fearful child, the wounded one, or the awakened one? And if it is the old self, smile gently and choose again. You are not fighting the past. You are retraining your observer. Every pause is a new choice. Every choice is a new signal. Every signal is a new reality waiting to collapse. Now, imagine if you practice this daily. Waking up each morning and before checking your phone or planning your tasks, you simply tuned your awareness. You asked, what frequency am I observing life from today? What am I expecting to see? That one question changes everything, because expectation is the subconscious language of creation. When you expect beauty, you observe beauty. When you expect struggle, you observe struggle. The field is impartial. It is your expectation that gives it form. Reality is not something outside of you. It is something forming around your vibration. You are both the observer and the observed, the signal and the reflection. When you finally realize that, you stop trying to fix the mirror and start mastering the image you are projecting. That is when true creation begins. This is why healing, meditation, and self-awareness are not spiritual trends. They are the actual mechanics of changing your timeline. They train you to observe differently. They tune the subconscious to coherence. And when the observer changes, everything does. As you continue this journey, remember that the power is not in the information, it is in the embodiment. Listening to this knowledge shifts nothing until you begin to live it. Start small. Notice when you contract. Notice when you expand. Notice when you feel safe and when you feel threatened. Each observation is a door back to consciousness. The more you walk through it, the less the old patterns can survive. The universe is not holding anything back from you. It is waiting for you to observe it from the version of yourself that already has what you seek. That is the true meaning of becoming the observer. You are not trying to change the world. You are changing the one who sees it. If the quantum field responds instantly to vibration, then why does change often feel so slow? Why do we keep slipping back into the same habits, the same emotions, the same patterns, even after we become aware of them? The answer is one word: resistance. Resistance is the invisible glue that holds the old timeline together. It is the part of your system that believes safety exists only in what is familiar. It does not care whether the familiar is painful or limiting. It only cares that it is known. Resistance hides in plain sight. It shows up as procrastination, overthinking, emotional numbness, endless planning, or even constant busyness. Sometimes it disguises itself as logic, whispering, "Be realistic, play it safe, do not risk too much." But underneath every form of resistance lives the same vibration: fear of the unknown. And fear of the unknown is simply fear of expansion. Most people think they are afraid of failure, but they are actually afraid of change, because change, even positive change, means uncertainty. The nervous system, trained for survival, associates uncertainty with danger. So even when your conscious mind says, "I want to grow," your body whispers, "I want to stay safe." And the field listens to the dominant signal. That is why people repeat the same cycles, not because they lack willpower, but because their biology is wired for repetition. When you were younger, your system learned what was safe by observing patterns. If love was inconsistent, you learned that love equals anxiety. If success led to rejection, you learned that visibility equals pain. Those emotional imprints became part of your chemistry. They did not stay in your thoughts. They stored in your body. So years later, even as you try to create a new reality, your nervous system keeps broadcasting the old one. The body is not betraying you. It is protecting you. But protection and expansion cannot exist at the same frequency. To break free, you must begin to see resistance not as an enemy, but as information. Every time you feel yourself hesitate, freeze, or self-sabotage, ask what part of me feels unsafe right now. Then listen without judgment. Resistance is not a wall to climb. It is a voice asking for reassurance. When you respond with presence instead of frustration, it begins to soften. Take a deep breath. Notice how your chest rises and falls. Notice any tension in your shoulders, your jaw, your stomach. Those sensations are not random. They are the language of your body trying to tell you where the old timeline still lives. Most people ignore that language. They override it with discipline or drown it out with distraction. But if you pause and listen, you begin to translate it. You start to realize that your body has been carrying every unprocessed moment, every repressed emotion, every unspoken truth. Resistance lives where truth was silenced. For example, if you were taught not to cry, your body learned to hold back sadness, and that suppression turned into chronic tension. If you were taught to always achieve, your body learned to equate stillness with failure, and that turned into restlessness. These emotional codes operate silently in the background, shaping the vibration you emit. That is why healing is not about changing the mind. It is about releasing the stored energy that distorts your signal. Imagine your frequency as a river. When the flow is open, life moves easily. But when trauma or fear blocks the current, the energy starts to stagnate. Resistance is the dam in that river. The water behind it builds pressure, and that pressure shows up as anxiety, frustration, or exhaustion. You can tell yourself to calm down, but until you open the dam, the current cannot flow. This is why breathwork, meditation, or even conscious movement are so powerful. They bypass the intellect and communicate directly with the nervous system, telling it that expansion is safe again. Let's make this practical. The next time you notice yourself delaying something you truly want, stop and take one slow breath. Instead of pushing through, ask, what feeling am I avoiding right now? Maybe it is fear of rejection, fear of failure, or fear of losing control. Whatever it is, allow it to be felt. Sit with the discomfort long enough for it to lose its grip. Feel it without naming it, without analyzing it. In that moment, you stop resisting the emotion and start integrating it. The emotion that is felt fully no longer needs to repeat itself. This is the beginning of emotional coherence. When you stop running from the sensations inside you, you become larger than them. Your frequency expands to include what you once avoided, and that expansion collapses a new reality. The paradox of resistance is that it dissolves not by fighting it, but by embracing it. Sometimes resistance feels physical. The body tightens, the breath shortens, the heart races. That is the nervous system's signaling threat. Instead of trying to think your way out, try breathing your way through. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly, and imagine the breath as light moving through the blocked areas. With every exhale, remind your body, it is safe to relax, it is safe to let go, it is safe to expand. Over time, the body begins to believe you, and when the body believes, the field responds. One of the most powerful ways to work with resistance is to bring gratitude into the process. Gratitude changes the chemical composition of the body. It shifts the focus from fear to trust. The moment you thank your resistance for trying to protect you, it stops fighting. It realizes that its job is done. Gratitude is not denial. It is transmutation. It turns the energy of fear into the energy of safety. As you continue to practice this awareness, you will notice that resistance becomes less of an obstacle and more of a teacher. It will still visit you, because every new level of expansion brings new uncertainty. But you will no longer mistake its presence for a problem. You will recognize it as a signal that you are growing. The stronger the resistance, the closer the threshold. Remember, the body is a sacred instrument tuned by experience. You cannot hate it into transformation. You must tune it with compassion. The nervous system learns by repetition, so give it small doses of safety every day. Speak to it kindly, move gently, rest often. When the body begins to feel safe in new energy, it naturally releases the old one. This is why spiritual growth and emotional healing are inseparable. You cannot rise in vibration while suppressing emotion. You cannot expand in consciousness while ignoring the body that carries it. The field responds to your entire system, not just your thoughts. The more coherent your system becomes, the faster your timeline shifts. So if you feel resistance right now, do not rush to escape it. Sit with it, breathe with it, learn from it. Every breath of acceptance rewires your biology. Every moment of presence melts another layer of fear. You are not broken for feeling stuck. You are simply learning how to make your body an ally to your evolution. In the end, resistance is not the barrier. It is the invitation. It is the gatekeeper that asks, are you ready to feel safe in expansion? When you can answer yes with your body, not just your mind, the gate opens. And on the other side of that gate waits the version of you who no longer resists life, but flows with it. That is the frequency of freedom. Every shift in consciousness eventually asks for one thing: embodiment. You can understand the science, repeat the affirmations, listen to every word about vibration, but nothing changes until you live it. Embodiment is the bridge between knowledge and transformation. It means to inhabit the version of yourself that already exists in the timeline you desire. Not pretending, not performing, not hoping, but living as if the new reality is already true. Most people think embodiment is a concept, but it is actually a practice. It is how you breathe, how you respond, how you walk into a room, how you speak to yourself in silence. It is the energy behind your smallest actions. Because every action is a broadcast to the quantum field, saying, this is who I am. When your actions align with your desired vibration, the field mirrors it instantly. When they contradict it, the field mirrors that instead. The key is understanding that you do not wait for proof to feel different. You feel different first, and the proof arrives later. This is the exact opposite of how the human mind was trained. The mind says, I will believe it when I see it. The quantum says, you will see it when you believe it. Every version of you already exists in potential, but embodiment is what selects which one you experience. Think of the version of yourself who already has what you desire. How does that person wake up in the morning? How do they breathe? How do they move? How do they respond to fear, to love, to uncertainty? Now imagine stepping into that version, not in theory, but in sensation. Feel their posture, their calm, their confidence. Let your body memorize it, because the body learns through repetition, not imagination. The more often you feel it, the more real it becomes. If you want abundance, embodiment might look like spending money with trust instead of panic. It might mean saying thank you instead of tightening in fear. It might mean feeling gratitude for what is already here instead of waiting for what is missing. If you want love, embodiment might mean keeping your heart open when your instinct is to protect. It might mean letting people in even when your mind says it is safer to be alone. It might mean expressing kindness without expecting return. If you want healing, embodiment might mean treating your body as though it is already whole. It might mean resting with gratitude instead of guilt, nourishing instead of punishing, moving with appreciation instead of frustration. Do you see the pattern? You do not wait for the shift to happen to live differently. You live differently, and the shift happens. The field is neutral, but precise. It does not respond to what you wish. It responds to what you embody. Embodiment tells the field, I am now the version of me who belongs in this timeline. And the field, like a mirror, rearranges itself to reflect that truth. At first, this may feel uncomfortable, even unnatural, because your nervous system is still wired for the old vibration. The body may resist. It may want to contract, to doubt, to return to familiar emotions. That is okay. Embodiment is not perfection. It is persistence. It is the art of returning to alignment again and again until it becomes natural. Every time you catch yourself reacting from the old timeline and gently guide yourself back, you are reinforcing the new frequency. The power is not in never falling. It is in how quickly you return. Imagine walking across a bridge in thick fog. You cannot see the other side, but you trust each step. At first, your mind screams that you are lost, but as you keep walking, the fog begins to lift. That is what embodiment feels like. You will not always see instant results, but the vibration is shifting underneath you. The field is rearranging itself in ways your eyes cannot yet perceive. Stay with it, because the fog always clears for the one who keeps walking. Embodiment is not about pretending to be happy or forcing positivity. It is about coherence. Coherence means your thoughts, emotions, and actions are all broadcasting the same frequency. If you feel fear, acknowledge it. If you feel doubt, observe it. But do not let it dictate your next step. Take action aligned with the version of you who is already whole, already loved, already abundant. That is coherence in motion. Let us make this real. Tomorrow, when you wake up, instead of grabbing your phone or rushing into thought, place your hand over your heart and take 3 slow breaths. Ask yourself, what frequency do I want to live from today? Then choose one word, maybe trust, peace, gratitude, or expansion. Carry that word like a frequency through your actions. When you speak, let that word shape your tone. When you move, let that word shape your rhythm. When you breathe, let that word guide your body back to alignment. This simple act turns intention into embodiment. The beauty of this practice is that it does not require perfect belief. You do not need to be fully convinced. You just need to act as if for long enough that your body begins to believe you. Faith is not waiting for proof. It is walking as though proof already exists. Eventually, the subconscious accepts the new signal as truth, and the field follows. The universe always reflects your most consistent vibration. So if you want lasting change, make embodiment your lifestyle, not your ritual. Let it flow through ordinary moments. The way you drink water, the way you listen to others, the way you stand when you are alone. These are not small things. They are quantum declarations. Every gesture either reinforces the old frequency or amplifies the new one. You might wonder, how do I stay in this energy when life still looks the same? The answer is presence. The external world lags behind your internal shift. But every time you choose presence, you shorten that delay, because the field responds in the now. When you choose alignment now, you pull the new timeline closer. Embodiment is the moment you stop performing spirituality and start living as spirit. It is the moment you stop seeking the light and realize you are the light expressing through matter. The more you embody your higher frequency, the less effort life requires. People call it flow, grace, or synchronicity. But it is simply coherence made visible. Sometimes embodiment will ask you to do less, not more. To rest instead of forcing. To breathe instead of reacting. To allow instead of controlling. Doing less does not mean giving up. It means trusting that the field knows how to organize reality around your vibration. The old paradigm was about effort. The new one is about energy. At its essence, embodiment is love in motion. Love for who you are becoming. Love for the process. Love for the self that kept surviving long enough to evolve. When you move from love, you are already aligned with the highest frequency available. That is the vibration that heals, that creates, that manifests. So as you move through your day, remember this truth. Every breath is a chance to embody your new reality. Every choice is an opportunity to tune to the timeline you desire. You are not waiting for the universe to meet you. The universe is waiting for you to meet yourself at a higher vibration. You are not pretending. You are remembering. You are not chasing. You are aligning. You are not becoming someone new. You are revealing the version of you that was always there, hidden under layers of fear and doubt. When you embody that truth, the field has no choice but to mirror it back as your life. This is the art of becoming the frequency you seek. It is not effort. It is remembrance. It is not a task. It is a state. And the moment you live from that state, the quantum field rearranges everything to match it. People often think that transformation requires massive change, dramatic breakthroughs, or radical action. But the truth is, the quantum field does not measure size. It measures coherence. A small act done with full alignment carries more vibrational power than a grand gesture done in fear. The universe is not watching how much you do. It is listening to the energy behind what you do. Every choice, every breath, every micro moment of awareness sends a signal to the field. This is where most people get lost. They wait for big opportunities, forgetting that life is built from the small. The quantum shift is not a single event. It is a sequence of micro alignments. The way you speak to yourself in silence, the way you breathe before you react, the way you choose gratitude over frustration. These are the quiet revolutions that change everything. Think of your vibration like a compass. Every time you return to calm, kindness, or gratitude, you realign that compass toward your desired timeline. You do not have to control every outcome. You only have to guide your energy in the right direction, one choice at a time. That is micro-alignment, the practice of returning. Let us make it simple. Imagine that today you catch yourself worrying about money. Instead of spiraling into fear, you pause, breathe deeply, and whisper, "I have enough right now." That single breath shifts your frequency from lack to trust. The field feels it instantly. Or maybe you're in a conversation and someone says something that triggers your old defense. You notice the heat rise in your chest. Instead of reacting, you exhale slowly and soften your posture. That moment of awareness is a quantum decision. The universe records it as a new pattern. If you could see energy the way you see light, you would realize that these small acts create ripples through the field. Each time you choose presence instead of reaction, you are rewriting your energetic signature. Over time, those ripples become your new baseline vibration. That is why change often feels invisible at first. The energy shifts before the evidence appears. But just because you cannot see it yet does not mean it is not real. Micro-alignment is not about being perfect. It is about returning faster. Everyone wobbles. Everyone slips into old energy. The difference between those who transform and those who stay stuck is how quickly they come back. Every time you catch yourself drifting and gently realign, you strengthen the new timeline. It is like learning to walk again. At first you fall often, but with each step, your balance improves. The power lies not in never falling, but in rising with awareness. To bring this into daily life, choose one small act of alignment each day. It could be as simple as taking 3 conscious breaths before you start your morning. It could be expressing gratitude for something ordinary, like clean water or sunlight. It could be slowing down your speech to bring more calm into your words. These actions might seem small, but they change your vibration at the cellular level. The body begins to memorize peace as its natural state. The beauty of microalignment is that it integrates spirituality into daily life. You do not need a sacred space or a long ritual. The sacred is already in the moment you become aware. The moment you choose kindness when you could have chosen judgment, you are practicing quantum mastery. The moment you listen instead of defend, breathe instead of react, smile instead of worry, you are realigning your field. The universe always listens to subtlety. Now, if you have been feeling something moving inside you while listening, if you sense that part of you is finally ready to release the old loop, take a pause. Think of one word that represents the pattern you are ready to break. Maybe it is fear, maybe it is scarcity, maybe it is silence, maybe it is control. Whatever it is, name it. Write it down, speak it out loud, or share it in the comments. That one word becomes a declaration to the field that you are aware, that you are shifting. Your word matters. Because when you name the loop, you take your power back. Drop that one word below. Not for me, but for you. Because this is not just a video, it is a space for resonance. Every person who writes their word adds a new frequency to this collective field. We are all tuning together. The field becomes stronger with every act of awareness, every signal of coherence, every breath of courage. This is how transformation spreads. Not through noise, but through energy. Returning to your alignment is an act of love. Love for your peace, love for your growth, love for your truth. And love, in its purest vibration, is the most coherent frequency in the universe. When you return to love, everything else aligns naturally. Even your mistakes become part of your expansion. You begin to see that nothing was wasted, not even the moments of fear or failure. Every detour was training your system to recognize contrast, so you could choose alignment consciously. As you practice microalignment, life will start to feel different. You will notice synchronicities, moments that feel perfectly timed, conversations that bring clarity, ideas that appear out of nowhere. These are signs that your field is responding to your consistency. The quantum does not need you to be perfect. It only needs you to be present. Let this be your reminder. Every time you pause, breathe, and choose peace, you are collapsing a new wave. Every time you smile at a stranger instead of looking away, you shift the field. Every time you release a grudge, you expand your frequency. These moments are not small, they are the real work. The energy of your smallest action ripples infinitely through the field. One day you will look back and realize that nothing changed all at once. You did not wake up to a miracle. You built it breath by breath, moment by moment, choice by choice. The new reality did not fall from the sky. It unfolded from within you. The miracle was not in the event. It was in the alignment. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by how far you have to go, remember this truth. You do not have to take a giant leap. You only have to take one aligned breath. The universe will handle the distance. The field responds instantly to coherence, not effort. Micro-alignment is how you train the quantum field to trust you. Every small act of alignment says, I am ready, I am aware, I am here. The more often you say it with your energy, the louder your signal becomes. Soon the old patterns cannot survive in your vibration, and the new timeline stabilizes. This is the art of transformation in its simplest form. You do not fight the darkness. You light a single candle. You do not rebuild your life overnight. You return to coherence one breath at a time. And with each return, the old timeline fades like a dream you no longer remember. So take one more deep breath. Feel your heart expand. Remember your word, the one that represents the loop you are ready to break. Let it dissolve into light. You do not have to fight it. You only have to stop feeding it. The moment you choose peace over fear, presence over habit, truth over pretense, the field recalibrates. The shift is already happening, quietly, perfectly, right now. Stepping into a new timeline is one thing. Living there is another. Many people experience short moments of alignment, those flashes of peace or expansion when everything feels right. But then life pulls them back. Old habits return. The familiar thoughts whisper again, and they begin to wonder if the shift was real. The truth is, it was real. What fades is not the transformation itself, but your ability to sustain the new frequency. The field will always match your most consistent vibration, not your occasional one. Sustaining the frequency is the art of living consciously every day. The first key is daily awareness. Awareness is your internal compass. It allows you to notice when you have drifted from coherence and gently return. Each morning, before your mind rushes into tasks, pause and ask yourself, what frequency am I bringing into today? Are you carrying fear or trust, scarcity or gratitude, effort or flow? Set the tone before the day begins, because the way you start determines the pattern your energy will follow. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to be present. Awareness is not control. It is observation. The more you observe, the faster you return to balance. The second key is embodied action. Sustaining a frequency means letting it show in the way you live, not just the way you think. Take small actions that confirm the reality you want to stay in. If your new timeline is abundance, act generously. If it is love, express kindness. If it is peace, move slowly. Every act is an anchor that keeps you connected to your chosen vibration. Embodiment is how you tell the field, I am not visiting this timeline. I live here now. The third key is emotional regulation. No matter how conscious you are, life will still present contrast. You will still face moments of stress, fear, or doubt. But sustaining your frequency does not mean avoiding these emotions. It means returning faster. When triggers arise, breathe deeply. Ground yourself in the body. Feel the emotion without letting it take over. Every time you self-regulate instead of react, you strengthen your coherence. The nervous system learns that it can stay calm even when reality shakes. That stability keeps the new timeline stable too. The fourth key is connection through symbols. Human beings are symbolic by nature. The subconscious responds to images, sounds, and rituals more than logic. Surround yourself with symbols that remind you of who you have become. It could be a number, a mantra, a crystal, a sound frequency, or a simple word written on a wall. These are not magic objects. They are mirrors of intention. When your environment reflects your desired frequency, your energy stays aligned. The outer becomes a reflection of the inner. The fifth key is gratitude, the amplifier. Gratitude is the emotional signature of already having. When you practice gratitude, you collapse the wave of waiting into the frequency of now. You tell the field, I am already aligned. I am already supported. I am already whole. Gratitude dissolves resistance faster than any technique because it shifts your chemistry immediately. It changes the story from I am lacking to I am blessed. From I am trying to I am becoming. The moment you feel true gratitude, the new timeline stabilizes. These 5 keys are simple, but they are powerful when practiced together. Awareness keeps you awake. Action grounds you. Regulation keeps you calm. Symbols remind you, and gratitude expands you. Together they form a loop of coherence that sustains the shift. As you begin to live in the new timeline, you may notice the old one still echoing around you. People, situations, or memories from your past may try to pull you back into familiar vibration. Do not resist them with anger or fear. See them as reflections of your old signal fading out. Smile at them. Thank them for showing you how far you have come, and keep walking. The more you embody the new energy, the less the old can touch you. Remember that sustainability is not about feeling high all the time. It is about staying centered even when life feels messy. It is about choosing trust even when outcomes are unclear. It is about returning to coherence again and again, like waves returning to the shore. The frequency you maintain through contrast becomes your true vibration. You might wonder, how will I know when I am living fully in the new timeline? The answer is subtle. You will feel lighter. You will find yourself reacting differently to situations that used to trigger you. You will notice more synchronicities, more ease, more moments of quiet, knowing that everything is working. You will stop chasing and start allowing. That is the sign of coherence, not perfection, but peace. Living in the new timeline also means surrounding yourself with energy that supports it. Spend time with people, places, and ideas that mirror your expansion. If certain environments pull you back into scarcity or fear, limit your exposure until your vibration stabilizes. Protect your peace, not out of avoidance, but out of self-respect. The more consistent your environment, the stronger your signal. One of the most powerful ways to sustain your frequency is through service. When you share your alignment with others, the vibration multiplies. Teach, help, listen, or simply be kind. The energy you give circulates back, amplified. The field expands with generosity. That is how personal transformation becomes collective awakening. Take a moment right now. Breathe deeply. Feel the space around your heart. You are already living differently than before. You are more aware, more present, more in tune with the energy within and around you. Let that awareness be your daily practice. Start your day with intention, live it with embodiment, end it with gratitude. That simple rhythm keeps you in coherence, no matter what the outer world does. And when you wobble, when you forget, when you fall back into the old energy, remember that nothing is lost. Every return strengthens the new timeline. Every conscious breath reactivates the field. The universe does not measure your perfection. It measures your persistence. You are learning to hold the frequency like a musician holds a note. Steady, consistent, unwavering. The longer you hold it, the clearer the song of your life becomes. You are no longer visiting the timeline of peace, love, and abundance. You are learning to live there. The field is already responding to your consistency. Stay with it. Keep choosing coherence. Keep breathing into the version of you that knows this is who I am now. The new reality does not arrive with fireworks. It unfolds quietly through your daily choices. You are building it every moment you stay aware, every breath you take in gratitude, every act you perform with intention. This is mastery, not because you control life, but because you harmonize with it. So when tomorrow comes, start again. Tune your frequency with awareness. Walk in coherence. Speak with kindness. End with gratitude. And know that you are sustaining the new timeline simply by being it. You have come a long way. Through awareness, embodiment, and alignment, you have learned how to step beyond the loop of the old timeline. You have discovered that change does not come from force. It comes from coherence. That you do not chase reality, you create it from within. And as you listen now, something in you has already shifted. The person who pressed play on this video is not the same one who is here now. You are vibrating differently. You are breathing differently. You are seeing differently. The field has already responded, but this is not the end. It is the beginning of a new rhythm. The quantum field does not care if you visit a higher frequency once. It reshapes around you when you live there. Sustainability is the real transformation. The daily awareness, the micro-alignments, the consistent gratitude, those are the invisible threads that weave your new reality into form. You are learning how to hold the frequency until it becomes who you are. That is mastery. Take a deep breath and feel that truth in your body. You are not waiting for the shift. You are being the shift. Every thought, every action, every breath has brought you here. The new timeline is not somewhere far away. It is here, in this awareness, in this vibration, in this moment. Now, it is time to embody it fully. Over the next 24 hours, surprise yourself. Do one thing that belongs to the version of you who already lives in the new reality. Maybe it is a simple choice, a kind gesture, a moment of courage, a word of truth, or even a private shift in attitude. It does not need to be big. It just needs to be real. When you do that one act, know that the field recognizes it instantly. You are no longer waiting for change. You are living it. Look back for a moment. Every insight, every breath, every release has been preparing you for this point. The point where you stop learning about energy and start becoming it. The point where you realize that the quantum field is not separate from you. You are the field, experiencing itself through awareness. The observer and the observed are one. When you understand this, reality begins to feel like a dance instead of a struggle. You no longer chase outcomes, you flow with them. You no longer fight time. You move through it like light. So as you step into this new phase, remember that the work is simple. Keep choosing coherence. Keep choosing gratitude. Keep choosing presence. The universe is not testing you, it is tuning with you. Every time you return to alignment, you strengthen the new pattern. Every time you fall and rise again, the field expands in response. You are shaping the vibration of your life, one conscious moment at a time. Take another breath. Feel the energy in your chest expand like light. That light is your signal to the universe. It is your declaration that you are here, awake, ready to live fully. Hold it for a moment and let it spread beyond your body, into the space around you, into the field itself. That is your frequency echoing into infinity. And if this message has resonated with you, if you can feel the quiet truth of it vibrating in your chest, stay close to this field. This is not just a channel. It is a community of coherence. Here we learn together, grow together, and remember what it means to be creators of our own energy. Subscribe, not out of habit, but as a declaration to stay in resonance. Because together, we amplify the field. The next journey will take you deeper into the art of holding coherence when life tests you, how to keep your vibration steady when stress and uncertainty appear. You will learn how to transform pressure into power, and how to remain centered in truth even when reality feels unstable. If this path speaks to your spirit, stay tuned. The next video will meet you right where you are. Before you go, pause for one last moment. Place your hand over your heart. Whisper to yourself, I am not waiting for change. I am being it. Feel those words land inside you. Let them become your new baseline vibration. because that is the real secret. The universe always mirrors the energy you live, not the energy you wish for. Thank you for walking this journey with me. Thank you for showing up for your own evolution. You are not just a viewer. You are part of the resonance that keeps this field alive. Every time you return to awareness, every time you choose love over fear, the frequency of this planet rises a little higher. Keep going, keep choosing, keep surprising yourself with how much light you can hold. Because when you do, the quantum field always responds.